Thank you, Madam President. I rise to ask for support for Senate Bill 35. We all want to be number one in life, in sports, and everything. Unfortunately, we're number two. That's not a good thing. We're number two in gas tax, in gas prices. And we moved up from number three to number two, so we should all be celebrating. However, that's not the case. Now is not the time to continually put this on the backs of hardworking Pennsylvanians. It is projected to be about a 3.5-cent increase, 4.5 cents for diesel and 0.1 per kilowatt hour for electric. And I think that last component of this really loses sight in this overall discussion. Electric, more heating costs for Pennsylvania residents, more gas costs for Pennsylvania residents, more shipping costs for Pennsylvania residents. Now is not the time. And I want to clear something up as well. There's no hole here. There was some mention that there's a hole. We got to fill a hole. This is prospective. This is January 1st this year to the end, projected at $225 million. So there's nothing here that has been allocated that is in jeopardy of being lost. I want to make that clear. And we want to talk about bridges. We want to talk about safety. And I'm not standing here saying that we don't need critical infrastructure. We don't need roads and bridges. I've said that ad nauseum. People pay taxes. They want a good road to drive on. They want police, fire protection, want a good school to send their children to. Those are core functions of government, core functions of what we're about here, why we're sent to Harrisburg to represent our constituents. But you want to talk about bridges. Ask PennDOT how much they put us on the hook for over the next several years with their major bridge project program. You want to talk about jobs? Ask PennDOT why they wrote the bid structure to preclude any Pennsylvania-based company from being a lead contractor on any of that bridge replacement. So yeah, maybe I am not crazy about just rising and giving this money to PennDOT until I see a little bit of fiscal management. Maybe 3.5 cents. It may not seem like a lot. I don't think people are going to be driving all this time to find cheaper gas, but it's about the principle. Why is that always the answer in this body? Let's pass it along. Let's just raise taxes. Let's do this fee, this tax, this toll. It's nonsensical. And I think it bears mention as well. It's due in direct result from the failed energy policies of the Biden administration and our governor, the attack on energy. This has skyrocketed. Act 89 was introduced. Not many members of this body were present for Act 89. I was not. That trigger was built in at $2.99 as the average wholesale price. Now, it's gone to $3.17. And just about 2 years ago, it was about $1.48. I mean, it has over doubled in that short period of time on this war on energy. So that's why we see ourselves here today. We have a duty to our constituents. Let's give them a little bit of hope here. I mean, they've been getting beat down on so many levels, on so many things. Energy prices, historic inflation. So yeah, I'm not for this. I don't think any elected official should be for this. It might be a different argument. I might give some credence to it if it was already allocated money that was there, that was set. But when you have this calculated in around September, a few short months ago, that what this is going to be, $225 million. And then all of a sudden, we're at this critical function. I don't buy it. We need to have the discussion, and I'm all for that. As chair of the Transportation Committee, I'm all about talking about real revenue options and about appropriate spending. We have a duty to our residents to ensure that tax dollars are spent wisely, and they're not. They're not. We need to fund bridges, we need to fund critical infrastructure, but I'm telling you, when I hear that PennDOT goes through PEDFA and puts us on the hook for ridiculous amounts of money, and not even to a Pennsylvania company, I got a problem with that. I'm going to go to bat for Pennsylvania companies. And I'm not advocating they lose any dollars, but we need to give them the opportunity to do this work. And we haven't. I want to say we haven't. PennDOT hasn't. PennDOT had a great opportunity when this body passed another piece of legislation, Senate Bill 382, which stopped the bridge tolling. We had a great opportunity. And we said we're not going to toll when the governor signed that piece of legislation into law. We could have cut that back. We could have looked at those 9 bridges that were candidate bridges, and we could have done it right. But they chose to go the route with this Australian conglomerate when it could have been a win for Pennsylvania companies, and it wasn't. So yeah, I'm not crazy about just continually putting this on the back of Pennsylvanians. We can send a message here. We can stop this. As I said, it's prospective. It's not any projects that are in dire need that this money's been allocated to. We can put a stop on this. We can work together. We can find other revenue sources, which we've talked about, which we'll continue to talk about, and do it right. And get a product out of here that all Pennsylvanians can be proud of and that Pennsylvania workers and families will benefit from. I ask for an affirmative vote for Senate Bill 35. Thank you, Madam President.